Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mic rolls on this Tuesday morning. I got a message over the weekend. I'm going to shout out his name because he messaged me on Twitter. Ryan Anderson messaged me saying, Dom, I don't know if you check your messages, but wanted to let you know, being MSUM is a local collegiate basketball powerhouse, you should get Coach Bergstraser on the show every week, just like you have Lockway. Be awesome to hear about injuries and action going on in the Northern Sun. You know what? That's a darn good idea. So I messaged him yesterday, and then bam, we got him this morning. We're looking forward to it each and every Tuesday in this time slot for the 7th-ranked team in the country. People want to hear about your basketball team. It's great to see you, bud. How you been?
I am very good. Shout out to Ryan. That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
That's a way to get us here on the show. And yeah, man, life's good. Just chipping away here on a daily basis of trying to understand a good balance and rest. And just like I said before we started here, every week's a new challenge for us, and it's a fun process.
So I saw you when the process was just beginning, which was the exhibition game against the Bison. I know you talked to me right before that. You scheduled tough, and you played amazingly well. Tell me, coming through that non-conference portion, and tell people the teams you played and how you came out through that.
Yeah, and it's we got to schedule tough. I don't think there's any way around that, and I think it's a good opportunity just to prepare ourselves for once we get to NSIC play. And again, that's one of the best in the nation. I'd argue with anybody, but leaving the NDSU game, that was a great opportunity for us. I mean, we really got a good gauge of who we believe we could be, and obviously there's plenty of things we needed to work on. But going into non-conference play down in Kansas City, playing against Henderson State. They're a brand new team, and to be honest, that's probably the biggest, most athletic team I've coached against as a head coach. They gave us something we really haven't played against, so they caused a lot of problems for us. And that was one heck of a battle. Very athletic players, and they made things very tough on us. And I give our guys credit to handle that because again, it's something we never prepared against or played against. And then the next night I played against Arkansas Monticello. Our guys executed a game plan pretty well, and we ended up taking that one. And then we had so I'll just say in general, November it's a long month. A lot of travel. And we had that big meeting with our team going into November to understand, like, hey, you got to be mature to handle this kind of trips that we're going to be doing. And, that's never easy on anybody, but if you really love this stuff and it really means something to you, I mean, it really shouldn't matter because, competition's fun no matter where you're at. And then after that, we went to Black Hills and Spearfish. That was an absolute football match right there, man. And, Coach Towns does a heck of a job. They're a very well coached, winning tradition, great culture. And our guys battled. I give them a lot of credit. After that game, I told them, like, that was Dragon basketball. That was a gritty win. That's something, those are the games I wish playing, and just not a lot of fouls called. The rest let us play. So, and even like Benenga, he looked at me, he's like, you wish you were in that game, don't you? He's like, oh, heck yeah. I want to be scrapping and bleeding with you guys, trust me. But, I'm sitting there yelling and screaming on the sideline anyway. Then the next night we had South Dakota Mines. And they always make it tough. Every single year we play them, it's just a chippy, gritty game. And they always make it close. They stress me the heck out. And, I told the coach after the game, it's like, can we just blow each other out? Obviously I want to win, but it's like, let's just stop making these games so stinking close. Then the next week we went to Duluth and we played Northern Michigan, who's a very good team. They're coming off back-to-back national tournament appearances, Tony win seasons, a lot of very good scores. And again, I thought our guys handled that very well. And I think we've done a good job of handling personnel and scouts, and that's something we take a high importance of. So I was proud of our guys on that. And then the next night, we ran into Michigan Tech, D2 leading scorer with Tomacek. We were up by 12 with 9:50 left. We obviously watched that whole 9:50 as a group.
Yeah.
We didn't handle it too well. On top of them, or one of their guys going off for 30 in the second half and ending up with 40 in general. That didn't make things easy, but on top of us just not taking care of the ball, not guarding in transition, rebounding, doing all the dirty 50-50 ball, like all those little things what you got to do to win a game when someone's trying to beat you. We didn't handle that too well, and that's what, as a coach, I was tossing and turning, trying to make sure that never happens again. But they're a dang good team, and we knew that going into it. And they've been handling some teams after they beat us too, so that's a credit to them. And now we started conference play, so that's the fun part. it's the best in the nation, and we want to
Yeah.
see where we stand at the end of the year. But it's a one game at a time process.
And now you got two roadies coming up here this weekend with St. Cloud and Bemidji, which are always, I mean, I know you know how well St. Cloud State, especially. I know that's personal for you
Oh yeah.
this coming weekend, and then a trip to Bemidji, and that's always tough. This is just the first half, man. The grind is really to come after the first of the year, right?
Yeah, and like I said, man, it's every week. Like you're worried so much about your opponent, and you obviously want to focus on yourself. But it's like there's never going to be a break. You're never going to be done with the game if you're fortunate enough to win. It's not like all right, we could take a breath. No, you got to prepare for a very good basketball team again with good coaches and good players. So it's never ending. But that's what makes it fun. That's why we enjoy this stuff. And going to St. Cloud, that's going to be. I mean, it's always fun for me because it's a place where I committed myself to as a player. And I put a lot of time in there on that court. So, and then obviously it's just home for me. So I want to see a lot of family. I'm gonna have a lot of family and friends come. So I'm always looking forward to that. And, it ain't going to be about me, of course. It's about our group and what we can do to do whatever it takes to go win a basketball game. And then we're going to travel back to Moorhead that night. And then we're going to go to Bemidji that next morning. So again, it's, how are we maturity wise to handle this kind of stuff on the road? And some guys don't truly understand that.
Yeah.
But when you're getting on and off a bus, lack of sleep and quick preparation, that's never easy. And any game on the road in this league it's brutal, and teams are always going to play well against you. So it's just up to us to make sure we execute a scout personally.
I know it's not about you, but in your wildest dreams, when you go back to Hollenbeck and you're there, you think, boy, I never thought I'd be coaching. Or was that something when you were growing up in high school ball, and then when you got to college, this was on the path for you?
No, I had no idea what I was going to do. Honestly, I was focused on the wrong things when I was in college. I just cared about the extracurricular stuff and just playing basketball. I wasn't great in the classroom. Kevin Schlegel, Hall of Fame coach there, and I'll be able to see him. That's always one of my favorite moments.
That's
too.
cool.
He'll be there for the women's game in that same spot. I'll go there and meet him early, and we'll talk for a while. But yeah, I pray before every single game, during the national anthem, and that's like a moment for myself. I'll really be sitting there and like picturing myself on the other end as a young, immature 18-year-old. It's like, who would imagine me on the opposite side now, coaching a Division II basketball team for my third year? So it's all blessings. I'm so grateful, and that's always gonna be my mindset to it. And it's always blessings in disguise to be where I'm at right now, right place, right time. But no, I didn't think, again, I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. My mind wasn't in the right place, but I'm grateful for where I'm at right now, let me tell you.
I know you care about polls as much as the next coach, but when I look at the most recent D2, and this is no surprise, 4 Northern Sun teams are in the top 20. Does that keep you up at night as well, knowing what's to come?
No, not really. I mean, I'll be straight up, man. I really don't care about the number. It's cool to be recognized. It's great for the program and university. I understand that, but it makes people play harder and better against you. But for our league to be recognized in the top 20 by that many teams, that doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, you know how it is, like come after Christmas or even going into February, that stuff changes so much. And some people have a harder, quote unquote, harder schedule to start and then easier to start. Like it's just, you never know. And teams get better or worse throughout the year. But that's a shout out to our league. We have a very, very good group here in the NSIC, a lot of good coaches and players and teams. So it's we'll see how it was last year. What was it? Eight teams in the top 10 were in the first regional rankings. So it's just like that's why we lose sleep, because it's like how hard it is to get in that tournament. But again, that's a long conversation from now.
You have 3 guys averaging double figures right now. Benninga goes without saying. I think Logan Kinsey goes without saying as well, how solid, and seeing him up close when you guys played at the Bison, both really good. Jacob Jennison has stepped up as your 7-footer and now contributing. What have you seen? Why has he taken the next step this year, in your opinion?
He's been really just kicking butt in the process every single day. If you look back to last year, beginning like first practice preseason, like he was a long ways to go. And he'd admit it, like just throughout the year, like he had his ups and downs, and you really had to look at it. It was like his first year of playing college basketball after all the stuff that he's been through with his knees.
Yeah.
But by the time like end of the season came, we were playing a national tournament. That dude was really, really good. And the thing that made it tough for him was that, not for him, because like Jenny's the best teammate you could ever ask for. He don't care whether he plays or not. But you have Dane Zimmer in front of him, so it's like, how do you take Dane Zimmer's minutes? Yeah, that's been their 5th-year senior. But Jenny was amazing when he got a guy like that coming off the bench for Dane Zimmer. Like imagine that. So for him to do, like, I'm not surprised one bit for what he's doing right now for us. The young man puts in so much work. He's worked on his body a ton. He's so committed to this process. He shows it up every day. I mean, I love him to death. I'm just happy for him after all the crap that he's been through. For him to do what he's doing, it's amazing. And I want him to think he's one of the better forwards in the nation. He's a dominant player, and he's done great things on both sides of the ball for us. And he's humble enough to say we believe that he's not completed to where we believe he should be. So he's definitely made us a different basketball team. And trust me, we definitely appreciate what he's doing.
Sean Wysocki's scoring a ton for you, and as a freshman, I mean, is that? I know we talked about him when you signed him. Is this even ahead of pace though? What he's doing for you already?
Oh yeah. If you would have asked me early if I'd be starting a true freshman this year, I thought you're nuts. But he, you know how it is with injuries, and sometimes it just makes sense for a guy to step in.
Yep.
He was just doing so well in preseason, and he's such a confident freshman. He reminds me a lot of like Logan Kinsey when he was a true freshman. And Logan played very valuable minutes for a very good basketball team, but for Sean to buy into what we do, and on top of it, being a very good basketball player, he's a great long athlete. He's very mobile. He puts a lot of time in off the court, but he just has so much confidence as a freshman. He makes mistakes, but just he goes out there and plays like he's been already in the college level. So yeah, he's I don't want to say he surprised me because we knew what we were getting, but for him to be playing this much, that's surprising because I wouldn't have expected that.
Sam Ostrider, for people in the area, certainly know his athletic ability. How has that transition gone for you, and what kind of role has he carved out in your roster?
Yeah, with Sam, we got to just be patient with him, and he's been patient with us, just trying to understand how we do things. Yeah. But it ain't no secret, the young man can shoot the heck out the basketball, and it's one thing that he's been working with us and us with him is just like, we don't want you just to be a 3-point shooter. He's a very strong, tall, long athlete. So I mean, he can get well above the rim. So it's like we need to utilize you getting to the rim and in the paint as well. And he's since like first preseason practice to where he's at now, he's improved so much in our system, which takes a lot of time for guys. It's a lot of transfers don't just pick it up right away. So like that's for us as staff really understanding that. And again, there's days, it can be frustrating with any transfer, but for him just to keep showing up every single day and trusting what we want him to do. I mean, he's such a coachable young man, and he's he's a little bit quiet, which is just fine. But I mean, he cares about winning, he cares about doing the right things. And he believes that like even come January, February, to what we want to be doing, that's when I think he's going to be really, really good for what we're doing. He's already been playing really great for our program.
Last thing, I got an email in to ask you, because you have a ton of free time. Is there who's the player you stop and watch on television these days? Is there anybody that you like when you have basketball? I know you have tons of free time with two little ones, but who do you stop and like? Okay, if this guy's on, I'm going to watch him play.
To be honest, I rarely watch college basketball, especially live. I watch the Bison a lot.
Well, if it's not, how about pro? How about pro? Is there any pro basketball?
Oh, I definitely don't watch the NBA. I'll tell you. I mean, Kevin Garnett's my favorite player.
There you
I love
go.
watching Edwards. I keep an eye on the Timberwolves, of course, but like college level, like I'll keep an eye. I like to watch teams and study it on my own time. And I mean, I'll be honest. I like watching Cooper Flag. I mean, I want to see what. I want Logan Kinsey to be something like him, but that's a little different. I want, I'm trying to look at different similarities of like high level players, how they can maybe emulate what our current guys do, at our level. So just trying to sneak something like Jacob Jennison ain't going to be Zach Edey, but I'd like him to be something like that in the Division II level. But I just love studying teams. Yeah. It's all random, like system wise. I want to say it's a specific player too much.
It's great to do this, bud. I look forward to doing this the rest of the season. Thanks so much for the time. Good luck this weekend on the road, all right?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Tim Bergstraser joining us. He'll do it each and every Tuesday throughout the Dragon basketball season. Look forward to that. His team is ranked 7th in the country. And a shout-out to our guy Ryan for messaging me. He's dead on about that. We got a team ranked as high, and we've had Tim on periodically over the last couple of years. The Dragons got all the way to number 1 in the country last year. It's well worth carving out 10 minutes each week to chat some hoops there. We appreciate that. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll wrap things up, get you ready. We got a busy Sports Tuesday on tap. We got a busy night for us here, televising some games. We'll give you the lowdown on that when Hot Mike wraps right after